Hey there, dog loggers. It's your old pals. How goes it?
Man,
I'm suited up today, dude.
big morning. Oh, nice.
What you got? What you working on?
You know, working. Does this? Here we go.
Whoa, what's this all about?
It's just a piece of styrofoam.
Okay, I thought you were making.
Man, we're picking up a new dog today.
A new dog? 2 dogs? You're becoming a 2-dog crew?
2-dog crew.
Wow, 2-dog crew.
Yeah, man. New dog's gonna be called Louie.
Oh, okay. That's better than.
We got Leo, and we got Louie.
Okay, little Louie, little loopy, little Latin loopy Lou.
Little Louie.
Yeah, the Kingsman.
Dun, 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 dun. That's gonna be his theme song.
What's
Leo's
he gonna
theme song
be?
is
Dog is he? Chihuahua? Is he a what is he?
Louie is like a chi-wax.
What's a chihuahua?
Like a dachshund chihuahua.
Cool.
Kind of combo.
Dude, man, a lot of got fish on the horizon. 9 days away, you said where you're at now?
It's probably like 8, 7, 8, like a week. I'm sure it's like next weekend, you know.
April, is that Mexico? What is that? What's April?
Mexico happened.
Mexico.
Maybe I think you might have missed the whole Mexico tour.
I skipped the Mexico run. It's proper summer tour. It's a spring tour. What's happening? I totally don't even know.
Spring West Coast. It's like
spring West Coast.
I think Seattle, somewhere in Oregon, and then
right.
I think are they playing in San Fran? Let me pull it up. Are they playing in San Francisco proper? And then they're playing the Hollywood Bowl again, which everybody's excited about. Hold on real quick, 1 second. Let me just go like this. Look at this guy.
Oh, he's cute. Little Louie.
We got little Louie.
Oh, he's adorable. All right. You're going to go pick him up today.
He's got like cute little eyes.
Oh my God. He's great.
There's all kinds of glare here. It's not focusing, but
that's okay. We can get it. Oh, he's adorable. Oh, yeah.
There's Leo. Leo's hanging out in the cart.
Leo's like, what the fuck is going on here?
Dude, he's freaky.
Oh my God, he's adorable.
Dude, that's Louie.
Cool.
We got Louie on the horizon. Hours.
So wait, Louie is Louie the real Louie? Is that where he comes? Where Louie comes from?
Do we know? We were kind of set on calling him Russell.
Russell, okay.
We're gonna call him Russell. We're like, let's do Russell. We'll go Russell. And then
it's kind of a mouthful in Japanese. That's
it. Yeah, we mentioned it to a few people and they were like, huh?
Right.
Like, okay, maybe it's not the easiest name. No, I just saw there was like a dress like laying on the kitchen table or something. There was like a tag on a piece of clothing that said Louis, like LUI apostrophe S, Louis something, like some brand name. And I was like, oh man, Louis, what about Louis? And then Tomo goes like, oh, yes, that's it.
Okay.
You know, you try it. We tried a few other ones before we got on Russell. It's so weird to say a name and have a feeling like, no, that's not quite right. And then be like, oh yeah, that's the one. Somehow that makes sense, but you don't know why it works, or someone looks like a Louis, or like you know what I mean? That's so weird. You can't explain it.
Yeah, and like then it becomes your favorite sound and favorite word of ever. You know,
it gets into like what do sounds do in the brain. Even just like a guitar tone being a good tone or a bad tone, what is that about? You know, why do certain sounds sound good? certain consonant vowel combos have a certain appeal.
It probably has to do with something like, I mean, I would imagine that if I'm just talking out of class here, but like if you were to be living, wow, okay, we got a nice little.
This is also just, I'm thinking about how I can maybe make a music video, with some analog,
components. Okay.
effects.
Cool.
Nice little
No,
circle.
but I bet if you were out on some grasslands, you're in some kind of landscape that has like 4 different sort of ecosystems in it, and it's just humming with life and vibration from just every facet of Earth. Then you're gonna
Like
get
certain
this
sounds are.
harmonic. Yeah, and you're gonna get this. Your brain is like used to hearing this hum, right? Because they talk about like whatever, you can download those apps that have like, oh, your brain likes this 440 blah blah blah, and it's like, wah,
Right, 432, or watch
right.
how the sand reacts to.
Yes, yes, yes. That's probably has a lot to do with it, I would think. I mean, like on a
Well, who knows?
physiological
It's just,
level.
I wonder.
Yeah, some words like, I don't know,
Yabba dabba do.
do
Do ron.
ooh, ooh, that's a heavy one. And maybe what animals, what frequencies are they going at? I mean, obviously all over the place, but like,
Right.
I mean, the ones, the
What's the
primates,
frequency, Kenneth?
but the ones who are most closely related to us, they have, they're making sounds, they're audible. Man, I was at, we went down to, and I haven't told you, I don't think I told you, oh man, I found an amazing record store in Yokohama. I was down in Yokohama with my family a couple of days ago, or last weekend.
Oh, you might have mentioned a little staycation or something.
Yeah, yeah. And we went to the aquarium, the Enoshima Aquarium.
And yeah, dude, nice. Enoshima's cool.
Yeah, I hadn't been to that one before, and there's a lot of people like down on aquariums because
like zoo, just like a zoo. It's like
a zoo. I feel like people are more down on aquariums than they are on zoos for whatever reason.
Huh? Okay, like
I don't know.
SeaWorld.
Something about like the dolphins and the high intelligence of the dolphins like doesn't well with people, and the Free Willy movie or whatever it is that is out there that makes people want to be down on zoos. And I it's not like I want to support animal captivity, but I definitely think that we come to a greater appreciation of our natural world when we can actually connect with it, even if it's on a semi-superficial level. And arguably, you got a lot of background noise on that.
Yeah.
I'll mute you for just a second. It's quite loud.
Try to vacuum.
Yeah. But I just muted you, so if you're going to come back on, yeah, it's quite loud, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if I've got. Let me go.
I keep doing it. Sorry. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine now.
I don't have my voice isolation controls.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not. It was just screaming there for a second. It's fine now.
Yeah, it's loud here.
But they got the freaking dolphins. Like I hadn't seen them do this. They've trained them to.
Oh, here we go.
Speak or whatever. Their beep beeps. Their whatever their dolphin sound is, and they had them. I mean, they had like 6 of them all lined up, and they had them all like make a sound in unison, and it was so loud. It was so incredibly loud, and like hearing them all together, that was something that was a first. I was like, whoa! It was quite impressive.
Huh.
I'm at the office, dude. I had to sleep at the office last night. Oh, by the way, we're the orb team, and also we got to come up with something here where the
yellow coffee cup. Why
Y2K?
Yellow
Okay.
coffee cup, but spell it with a K instead of a C.
Ooh, coffee cup Y2K.
The Orb Club and the Y2K Club.
Okay, we're the whoa. Whoops. Okay, sorry.
I thought that was like a digital background for a second.
No, man, I freaking was working late.
Yeah.
And I like changed clothes at the last minute before I left my house, and I left my wallet in my other trousers, and I came here, and we have like a card key,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize I didn't have the key with me because I'm not often the last one to leave. But
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay, well,
Oh, so
okay.
you
I
couldn't
guess
lock up.
not only could I not lock up, but like I went to go, I was like, okay, well, I'll go home and I'll go get the key and I'll come back. And I went to go get my motorcycle out of the parking. Had no money to get it out. So I was like, oh, shit.
Walletless. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, there's a cot here and there's a blanket and a pillow. And it's like,
yeah.
so I just was like,
Little
yeah,
camp out going.
yeah. So I had a little, I called the missus and said like, hey, can you bring me the key on your way to the thing tomorrow? Can you bring me my wallet? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm just going to crash here, I guess. It was actually kind of a nice little camp out.
Nice little camp out.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
But I gotta get back. I pulled the trigger on that January.
Oh, nice. Cool. I want to see what it looks like.
I'm super stoked. It had me thinking about something. Here's a little nugget for you. Here's a little piece of kibble.
Nug me. Kibble me
Buying
up.
a record for the album for the cover rather than the music.
I've been saying, I feel like I think I've gone on record on the log saying like I wish I could buy a record without the record inside. Like I want the liner notes. I want to look at it, but with my studio rig, it sounds so good. I don't necessarily want the record, but the digital version, you lose. Yeah, you can't hold it. You can't display it. You can't flip it over and look at the credits. It's like there's so much good stuff in just the packaging. Yeah, like I just want the artwork. I don't need the record inside.
This was like this January. The reason that I wanted the January record was for the cut for the. I didn't even need the liner notes because there aren't that many liner notes to be had in it. I assume.
I wonder what what the rest of it looks like.
Well, just the cover alone is something that I would like essentially hang on my wall.
Poor man's art gallery or whatever.
Poor man's art gallery. I was talking about that. Yeah.
No, so Liam Gallagher or something.
Yeah, poor man's art gallery. Poor man's art gallery. So
art collection.
And will I listen to that record again and again? I will tell you that, like, I want.
Dude, yes.
Yes, I will. I know I will. But obviously, I will. But I can just as easily stream it. But I want to have the bar. I want to have December and January, and I want to see them, and I want it to be like, I just want to appreciate them, because, dude, that process. Let me explain to you that process real quick. It's real interesting. What you have to do is you have to mix up this crazy chemical, and check this out. You have to cut glass, okay, or buy pre-cut glass. But basically, you have to buy a sheet of glass. You have to measure it and then cut it with a glass cutter, break it off, and then sand off the edges.
Or this is
collodion.
What's it called? Exposing, printing.
Right. It's wet plate collodion work. Yeah.
Wait, so this is taking the photo, or this is like printing it?
This is preparing the film.
Preparing the film. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So it's not your standard film on a roll.
The film is not film. The film is glass. It's one shot. You put the emulsion. The emulsion is the goo that makes the photo come. Okay. And the substrate, the substrate of film is gelatin film. It's just plastic wrap. It's saran wrap.
Okay, so you're using a piece of glass instead of that.
Yes, instead of that substrate that has emulsion painted on it, you use a piece of glass with emulsion painted on it. That's
so it's like one and done. It's like a one and done
thing. Yeah, and that's what sheet film was. And the original substrate was glass, and it went from glass to film, so you could roll it. It was like the OLED, foldable LCD of
pretty high tech actually.
Right,
yeah.
So for the glass thing, you have to basically get a piece of glass that's one in the perfect size of the film back so that it'll fit in the camera. Okay.
Right.
Then you have to mix up this crazy batch of chemicals in this little chemistry jar. Then you have to pour it on the glass. You have to pour it with gloves on, and you have to like pour it on so it doesn't get on your fucking hands because it's super toxic. And you have to like go like this and get it on to all the edges of the film.
Right.
And
Even
natural phenomenon where it doesn't fall off. It goes to the edge.
Oh, weird. And it stays there. Okay.
And it stays there. And then
so this is flat.
It's
not
flat.
Like on the back of the camera.
Not yet. But then whatever extra is in there, you dump that chemical back into the little stream, right?
Okay, there's enough covering the whole
right.
face.
And then I think you only have you don't have so much time, but it has to dry long enough to so that it doesn't drip anymore, or so. I don't exactly know, but
right.
You either put it into the camera wet or you put it into the camera after it's dried for just a little bit of time. And
but time is of the essence.
Yes, and if you like my camera, my 8x10 camera, it stinks to high hell of this chemistry, and so very likely whoever owned it before I did was using it to do this type of photography.
This is the kind of that you have that kind of big guy.
No. This is the giant one you haven't seen before. It's
really okay. It's even bigger.
Yeah. So and then so time is of the essence, and then you take a photo of it, right? And then I think you take it out and you pour maybe one more chemical over it, and then the picture appears, but it's on a piece of glass, so you can't really actually see anything. It's this weird sort of, you ever held like a negative film and it's like negative, but if you like tilt it towards some light, it suddenly becomes positive. You ever had that?
Yeah, I think so, but no,
it's that sort of thing. So you put it on a black velvet
you need a background for it.
You need a background for the image to come, and then poof, it's there. And if you want to make a print of it, then what you would most likely do, because there's no enlarger there are enlargers, but they're so rare. But there's no enlarger that you can put that giant 8x10 or into an enlarger that enlarges on a piece of paper. So what you do is you make a contact print, and you put the paper. Usually the end is the glass. There is no print.
Right, man, crazy.
You just put it against a back black, and you put a frame around it and hang it on a wall. And then there's only one. But you can print it. But the way that you print it is you have to do something called a contact print. You've heard of contact sheets. The way that a contact sheet works is that
you make like a master print, basically.
Yeah, you basically put all the film in the film holder, like a
right, and you kind of do a miniature print of all of them,
right? But you don't put that in the exposure. You don't put that in the enlarger. You put that on the piece of paper.
Yeah,
that's why it's called a contact print, because it's in contact with the.
And you want to keep it small. You want to get a bunch onto a single page.
Right. So you put it on top of the photographic paper, which also has an emulsion painted on it, and which is also light sensitive. You put it on there, and then you put a piece of glass on top of it so that it's flat. And then you just blast any old light. It doesn't matter if nothing needs to be in the enlarger. You can actually just turn on the room lights, and boom, it's contact. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's called like a photogram. Like if you may have done this in kindergarten or in 5th grade or something, where you go to the garden and you pick out leaves and branches, and
you put them down.
Shine a light on it, and then that comes out. That's called a photogram, and that's essentially what a contact sheet is, and that's essentially how you make a big. And that's what Renee did with those photos that are on the covers of The Barn and January, or excuse me, on December, January. That's why
I got a question.
Yeah.
So when you first put the chemical on the glass, that's immediately sensitive to light.
This weird chemical, this collodion mixture of chemical, it's less sensitive to light than the standard silver emulsion that we use. It's not.
So you do something between. Does it need to be somewhere darker when you prep it, and then now we want whatever's reflecting on it to bake in.
Yeah. So
how do you pushing the shutter? How does the pushing the shutter bit?
Well, they have
work?
to like they bring these little if you were on the frontier, you know, in a
I get like a
wagon,
little box
they build
with,
you like a
with
little
the
dark
gloves.
room, and you don't. It's not the kind where you have to like turn off the like you can have a red light on. It's a different chemistry, so it behaves differently, and you can actually expose it to. I forget how it
Some
works.
amount.
I've never done it, so I don't really know. But I
Right.
know that you don't. But there is a process, like the pouring on the pouring the chemicals on the glass doesn't have to be like in the
Dark.
dark.
Yeah.
Yes. But getting the film out of the film holder and into the next chemical does have to be dark, or vice versa. I don't really know which it is, but
Yeah.
these guys who work on the frontier, they either have like a little box where they stick their hands into and they do something inside it, or they have this like little miniature like clothes changing tent that you might find at a festival where like a girl,
Right. Yeah. You go in there and do it. Okay.
something
I feel
like
like I
that.
had something like that in photo class in high school. Is it called like a dark
Dark bag, yeah.
bag?
Yeah, but the dark bag is usually small because you
Small,
can
you're
do.
just like taking film out of the camera or
Yeah,
something.
but in this this big thing, you need like a giant bot. You need like a sandblaster to style of thing where it's like it's
Yeah.
enormous space where you can do something. Yeah,
But you put your hands in, you can't see what you're doing. You're just like feeling your way around.
yeah. Actually, if you'll indulge me just for a second, there is this
Yeah, I
genre
gotta
of
bounce it in.
photography called box cameras, and they're bizarre. They used to be all around the world, but they're only left in Afghanistan for some reason. There's
That's
only
not
like
like a pinhole camera. It's different.
no, it might be a pinhole camera. It's irrelevant whether it's a pinhole or it has a lens camera, but it's a box on a tripod. It looks like a movie. It looks like an old style
Like a
movie. It
big,
looks
yeah,
like
okay, big box
a moving
on
box
legs.
on a
Yeah.
camera, right? So what the guy does is he's got little pieces of paper that are cut up that have nothing. They're just anything. They're just little pieces of paper. It doesn't even matter what kind of paper they are. Okay. So he's got them inside this box, and he's got the emulsion that I'm talking about, this chemistry mix up, this goo. And what he does is he puts his hand inside the box and he can't see anything, but he knows where this little contraption and mousetrap sort of thing is. He knows what's inside there. And he takes a little paintbrush and
Yeah.
he paints the emulsion on the paper. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then he reaches around to where the lens part of the camera, because this camera has like two sections. It has the little dark room that's in the back of the box, little tiny microscopic mouse like scale dark room, and then on the front of the camera, it's not like an actual camera. So he reaches around to the lens part and sets the little piece of paper in front of the lens, and which has this light sensitive chemistry that's painted on it, right? And then he closes the little dark room so that it's light proof in there. Then he takes the picture of this person, okay? Then the picture of the person appears on the paper because the paper has this emulsion stuff, but it's only printed the negative of the person. So what he does inside this box is he takes that piece of paper and he takes another piece of paper and he smashes them together, and he gets and I don't even know exactly how they do this, but he gets a positive out of it. He makes a negative inside the thing, a paper negative,
Like onto itself.
he turns the paper negative into paper positive, and he develops it in this little tiny dark room. And when he pulls his hands out, he gives the guy a fucking passport photo, and the guy takes it to the passport office, and that's how they get passport photos in remote Afghanistan.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh, that's insane.
It's really, really cool. Box camera app.
I was gonna try to look it up too.
Yeah,
Box
it's
camera.
awesome. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, box camera Afghanistan.
Street box camera.
And the guys who like have the guys who
Man,
operate it, remember the
is this
bad
like, would this be hard to do if you tried to make one? Is it not practical?
Yeah, you could make one easily. It's not that complicated. It's just like little Tupperware jars inside a fucking wood box. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, I'm seeing this guy with this giant box.
That's it. That's how they get passport photos in Afghanistan. And there's like passport photo alley where there's 12 of these guys, and they're the last 12 dudes in the whole world who do it this way. And awesome. I think there's actually only like 4 of them left. Somebody's gone and documented how many of there are. But that's how they used to do it. Here, that's how they used to do. I'm not in Japan, maybe in Japan, but in America, that's how they did it. Like, in the Old West. Yeah, beautiful, right?
Man, cool. I mean,
That's
big. Yeah, camera's pretty big to like lug around. Like.
Yeah, but it's a camera and a darkroom inside a box. A little tiny like playhouse.
That's cool. A little all-in-one studio.
Yes. And I don't know if you're a maniac, but that's why I got that cut. Bringing this back to January, like I saat that show. Remember, I went to where was it? Nara, I think, and I saw
Right.
show in at a little gallery there, and that just happened to be the week of Kyotography, so I went to that too. But I was going down there only to see that show because I love that. I love that thing that Trey says, that he says, like, it's better to know your gear than to have good gear. And like, you have to know how to do, it's not like you have to know, like, I have so much respect. The photo doesn't even have to be great for me to appreciate like the effort and the thought that went into it, which is why there's not that many people who are doing it. There's a handful of people that are doing it. And it results in the most high contrast, like high detail, super tack sharp quality of images that have this like surrealist kind of thing about them. You've seen these old like tintypes. Like if you go to a museum and you see like a tintype, it's basically the same process. It's slightly different chemicals, but it's essentially the same exact process. And the substrate that they use rather than glass is tin. And tin has this like the metallic property of it makes it so that it's got this kind of like iridescent, like gasoline on the street sort of like glow to it. And it like depending on how you move it in the light, it like flutters with colors. And some people like paint them, like hand painted black and white photos, and the juxtaposition of the black and white image with the iridescence of the tin or whatever that is going on there, that sort of like dragonfly eye wing sort of thing that's just right there. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? With on top of like hand colors, or I should say below hand colors, it's wildly psychedelic, and it's 100 years old. So there's so much going on, and there's so much to appreciate. And in Renee's case, Renee Humer, who's Phish's photographer, for anybody who cares, he's their primary. We don't really know much about him. He's Dutch, I think. We know he's Dutch.
Yeah, Europeans. He's from somewhere, not the States.
He's been on the road with them for, I'm going to say 10 or more years. And I think he's got an assistant or two. I think maybe, and I'm not sure that assistant gets the credit with
I'm also wondering how they've got it set up now. Like they're like posting photos like minutes after they're taken. It feels like. It's like they're like straight to a server, like someone's on a computer seeing what gets taken immediately or something.
And not only that, but like a lot of those images that I'm seeing coming out that have these like really psychedelic things going on, I think some of them are done in camera, but I don't think all of them are. I think you got to take a couple of images and composite them to make those images. So I think that's
where it's got the double
he may be
with
putting some kind of glass filter on the front of his lens, but like either he's become a master of it, which is probably the case. He's probably learned the techniques of like slow shutter sync, and he's taking a picture and then moving the camera around, and he's getting things happening. But some of them I look at it and I'm like, really? Is he really? That's not a composite? And I'm pretty sure that some of them. But I'd be delighted to hear no, not at all, not at all. They are all done in camera. I'd go, wow,
right,
wow,
yeah.
Impressive.
Well, dude, once you get that January, we'll have to do a log.
I'm so excited about it. I hope it comes tomorrow. I really hope it comes fast. I'm sure it won't, but I was disappointed to hear that it wasn't, like I couldn't go get it.
Not in the store. Yeah.
40s, man. He says, I can hear you, dude.
Oh, nice. I gotta bounce. Sorry for it, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You gonna bet your bounce right now?
Gotta go see Louis. Yep.
Okay. Good luck with Louis. I'm gonna stick around for like about 2 more minutes and just
log solo.
I'll log solo for just a little bit.
Log solo. I'll go roll the dog.
Yeah.
Or
Well, good
whatever
luck
the
with Louis.
saying
Let us.
is.
We can. I want to meet Lou. I want to meet Louis and
Yeah, man.
Leo. Get them together. I think you
Dude.
should get those dog sound things. You know, where they can like say their "Yes, I'm hungry.
Oh
Feed
my
me
God.
now."
Wow, I never seen that. I have to look at.
You
Let
never
me
seen
look that
that?
up.
They can train these dogs. They've got these like sound pads where the dogs can like
Right.
learn these languages, and they can be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I gotta go take a piss. Take me outside. Hurry up."
I mean, man, if my dog was that smart, that would be something.
I don't know. Yeah. We all think that we're like master dog trainers when we get a dog. But
I'm a
you,
little nervous. Yeah, we gotta train. All right, well, keep logging. I'll check
all
you
right,
later.
I'll catch you on the flip side. I just want to, I'll just
All
log
right.
2 minutes.
Ciao,
from now.
everybody.
Okay. See you, Michael. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming on. Party on.
Party on.
Yeah, so I'll just recap. So the dog log, you already know what the dog log is if you're, but the dog log's a new thing. If you're just coming here, that was my friend Michael Warren. I'm Brian, and I'm streaming on and making videos on another channel called Tokyo Record Style. And Tokyo Record Style is an infant compared to the dog log. The dog log's been going on, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years now. I've lost track, but it's an ongoing conversation with me and my pal Michael. And I welcome you if you're coming to the dog log. We're going to try to get better at keeping the log online. We've actually had a couple of offline logs since the last time I came on. I noticed that we hadn't had a dog log in a month. So we were trying to keep them, like once a week, but we didn't have we just both got busy, and that's the nature of the log. It just kind of comes and goes when it does. And sometimes we're talking every single day, and then sometimes we're talking multiple times a day, and sometimes we're just like, on holiday. And Phish, Michael and I's kind of favorite band, and the reason that we came together was is getting ready to go on a little mini spring tour, and that will give us a chance to probably connect more frequently. And it's what brings us together. I'll say that I was streaming the dog log on both my channel, Tokyo Record Style, and also the dog log, and henceforth I'm only going to be streaming to the dog log. I'm only going to be streaming the dog log to the dog log channel. The dog log won't go to Tokyo Record Style anymore. I want to kind of keep them unique channels. So let me pull up my Tokyo Record Style channel and just drop it in here. I'm just going to drop a link to my latest video, which will get you there. And I'll leave it at that. A lot of things going on here. Okay. And 4D, I'll say thanks for being here. I think you're our one lonely live viewer, which is kind of fun to be a little bit off the radar, a little, there's this thing in photography I'll mention that like it happens occasionally where you stumble upon something that is so good. It's the best thing you ever made. And you put it out there, like nobody responds to it. And then you put this thing out there that you just know that everybody's going to like. It's not bad and you like it, but you don't have the like immediate visceral connection that you have to the previous one that I was just explaining. You don't have that sort of like very immediate connection to it, but it might be good, but that why everybody's going to like it, and because it's easy to like, and you put that out there, and sure enough it like goes bananas. And there's something about in that where the times when you find something that you really are proud of and that you really love and that you really care about, when you put it out there and nobody quite grabs onto it, it somehow validates. There's a validation in the fact that nobody quite gets it. It's very counterintuitive and hard to explain, but when people just don't get it, it somehow confirms to me from time to time that I've done something of significance to myself. I've done something of importance that I'm going to look back and value for a lot of time. And even though this is like a weird uh, analogy to make for a stream with just one guy on it, that's kind of like, I kind of feel there's something about that. It's like a challenge. It's like kind of like, I dare you to make something better. So yeah, I'm happy to have you here, and I'm happy to just like go off on a little bit. I streamed a little earlier on my channel on Tokyo Record Style. I saw you on there, 40. I don't know what went haywire with YouTube, but I streamed directly from the YouTube app, and it just did not work, despite all the little gizmos and gadgets telling me everything was okay. Then it just didn't. It just like didn't work, and it was only when I navigated away from that particular browser tab and then back to it that like 100 comments just suddenly appeared when there was only one before. So that was a weird thing. And he says here, yes, well, sure, we don't live in a I never know how to pronounce this word, meritocracy, and bestseller is no book recommendation. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and music is a perfect example of like, like this is the hit, or like how come this never got to be a hit? It just came at the wrong moment, or it was just like a little ahead of its time, or it just like the conditions, all the infinite conditions, all the variables weren't all set in the place for it to be what it could have been maybe, but there's something that's sort of comforting in that. I don't know what it is. It was funny that Moon God's first live stream as a new subscriber was a 30-minute silent stream, a tad different to Andrea Burkhardt's. Yeah, I'm gonna restream tomorrow or maybe tonight and get revenge stream for the tech faults. But yeah, it was an interesting. It got like it was being watched. It's interesting that it got a lot of views. So what's that about? What is that about? I was asking myself, wow, okay, I went on for like 30 minutes or whatever, and there was like 100 comments and viewers. Oh, I don't know what that's about, but is that a validation, or I don't know, people are like, but anyway, yeah, there's that. Yeah, maybe it was just like you guys enjoying yourself. Okay, well, I'll sign off on the dog log, and 10 days away till Phish tour, West Coast mini tour. Like, yeah, that's going to be a good run of shows. And it's like, I needed the break. I skipped out on the Mexico shows at the beginning of this year. I just like, I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm not really into the Mexico run or the Atlantic City run. Like those two runs, like the context of the venue doesn't interest me. So for whatever reason, I'm not that connected to the music. I want to see Phish in like a downtown sort of rundown arena, some kind of like city civic center that's past its prime. I don't want to see them in some resort town or some beach thing that's been built up and it's like a tourist attraction. I'm much more interested in to see them in some unique place, and I don't know if that influences the music, but surely it must. So that's my I'm excited. They may be playing the Gorge. I said where they were gonna play. Let's look up real quick. Phish mini Phish spring 2025. It's a short run, but let's just see where we're going. Yeah, it's a very short run. It's Climate Pledge Arena. What is that? In Seattle, 2 nights, April 18th and 19th. The Moda Center in Portland, April 20th. So it must be a little bit too cold to play like the Gorge. That's probably more of a summertime deal. I don't know what the Moda Center is. It's probably just some like basketball arena sort of thing. And then April 22nd and 23rd, they're playing at Bill Graham Civic Auditorium in San Francisco. I mean, that's a legendary shithole, I think. That'll be fun to see. Maybe it's gotten a handful of facelifts over the last 2 decades. And then a 3-night, so 2-night run at Bill Graham Civic Auditorium and 3-night run at Hollywood Bowl, California. That's weird. That says April 25, 26 plus 27. What's that about? Okay. So, and listen to this. I'm going to read this. Actually, I'll share it. Share screen. No, share Phish. This April, Phish will return to the West Coast for a short run of dates, including 2-night stands at Seattle's Climate Pledge Arena and San Francisco Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, as well as the band's first show in Portland, Oregon. Over 25 years? Seriously? They haven't played Portland in 25 years? Good grief. The run concludes with 3 nights at the historic Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. In conjunction with their return to the Hollywood Bowl, Phish will donate $300,000 to support relief and rebuilding efforts for communities affected by the devastating Southern California wildfires through the band's nonprofit, the Waterfield Foundation. This is one of the reasons. If Phish didn't have this, I don't know if they'd. I just admire this so much about them. $300,000. That's a new, that's going to make a big difference in somebody's life. A ticket required, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there's the dates. Pretty cool. I wonder if I can just, let's see what's else is going on in Phish news. Tickets on sale now. Summer tour 20. Okay, so summer's already announced. Oh, they're winning the nominee for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're currently in the lead. Is honored to be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2025. Oh, they're playing Folsom Field. This is so awesome. In my hometown, one of my hometowns, Boulder, Colorado, 3-night run. Can I get to Folsom Field for the 4th of July weekend? Oh my God, that would be a dream come true. This is my university. They're playing at Folsom Field, my old university. Dude, check out my university. See you, Boulder. Hold on, you gotta see this town. This is my gorgeous. Can I expand this? I can't. Yeah, just there's the Flatirons, the Rocky Mountains, the Boulder, Colorado, beautiful in the wintertime. And there is Folsom Field right there, where they used to have like rock concerts, like the Stones played there in the 70s. And they just got a little bit crazy over the years. And they shut down the venue. Let's look up Folsom Field. I don't know. There's the stadium, right? And they didn't have concerts there for 20 years. And now, I think last summer or the summer before, they started hosting the Dead here. And I remember what was that big big venue? There was the Oakland Coliseum, and there was what was the one in Philly called? And I always thought this would be a killer place to see a show, and I never got to see a show here. I never got to see a show here. So Phish is making a big return to Folsom Field on July 4th weekend. Dang, I would kill to go to that. Phish perform at Bourbon and Beyond. Okay, these are things I can bring up on the next log. There's their new album. There's the Mexico shows. Okay, let's have a quick look around Phish's website real quick. Hold on. There's news. Okay, the websites. I was going to look at tours, band, media releases, water reel, dry goods, Live Phish. Live Phish they've got this app that oops. I think I stopped screen sharing there. Well, anyway. Yeah. Okay. More to be continued on the dog log. I rambled on long enough. Time to go home. All right. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Bye.